Today is a very exciting video because one, I haven't done a sit down video in so long, and I actually love filming these kinds of videos and want to do them more. And two, because we are talking about a topic that is so important. And it's a big reason why I have been able to find so much more happiness in my life. And I made a huge mental shift that just completely changed everything for me. And now every single day, I feel so happy. I feel fulfilled. I don't feel stressed all the time or like I'm spinning myself into a circle. And this is what you can do to actually feel rich before you are. On this channel, I do post a lot of my gig work videos. I like to focus on sharing side hustles and what you can do to make extra money, but also things about money mindset, because if anything, that is actually more important than the way you choose to make money. There's so many things you can do to have income in whatever ways, whether it's a side hustle or your main source of income. Whatever kind of interests you and the path you decide to go down is only one aspect, but the mindset behind it is actually a bigger deal than the way that you choose to make money. Because even if you come into a lot of money or you manage to save a lot, let's say by having a side hustle, but your mindset is all out of sorts, you will end up spending that money. And then the point of having a side hustle or making extra income will completely be a waste. You love hearing about side hustles or watching my journey through door dashing, and also just want to learn about money tips and money psychology. I talk about those things on this channel, and I would greatly appreciate you liking the video if you enjoy it, and also subscribing if you want to be a part of these kind of topics. Now, I know you've probably heard people tell you act as if you are, as in act as if you are rich when you aren't. And that is good advice, but it cannot be taken literally, or else you will probably spin yourself into financial ruin, or at least at a minimum, make decisions that are not really in line with your current financial situation. And that's definitely not what you want to do, because then you will end up going into debt. So the way you want to act as if you are is by kind of giving yourself the opportunity to dream and ask yourself questions and be curious instead of just immediately taking action. So think to yourself, how would a person like this live? How would I live if I had XYZ? How would I act if I had a $10,000 emergency fund? Maybe you have zero in emergency fund or in savings, and you're sitting here wondering what kind of side hustle you can do or a career shift so you can build a savings. Instead of immediately springing and jumping into a panic mode, think about, how would I act if I had this? And allow yourself to just have that kind of wonder and curiosity, and let yourself live in that moment for a little bit and say, wow, if I had a $5,000 emergency fund or a $10,000 emergency fund, I wouldn't be worried about my car breaking down anymore. Maybe if you have pets, I wouldn't worry if they needed some sort of emergency surgery. They would be fine. I wouldn't have to worry about if something goes unplanned at my job and I'm really no longer happy there. I won't have to be stuck. And when you allow yourself to put yourself in the shoes of your future self, instead of trying to pretend as if you're just living a completely different life as a rich person, that can feel a little bit removed. You want to think about it as if how you will be in the future, not what you're going to do or what could be, but it will end up being you. And think about, how would this future version of myself live? And what would my emotional state be like? Would I be calm? Would I be relaxed? Not living every single day of my life wondering what bills are going to come up that might cause the next disaster. And when you allow yourself to think about your future self, it's very inspiring, and it really motivates you to be more disciplined to save, because you're already thinking in that way of, oh, I'm going to have this. I'm going to have that emergency fund or that amount in my investment account. Very inspiring and motivating to tell yourself, I will find a way to make that happen. And you want to tell yourself, even out loud, even though it sounds silly, it does work. Think to yourself and say, I am a person who invests. I am a person who has an investment account. I have a retirement account. And I build these things for myself so that I don't have to worry in the future, and so that my future self will be taken care of. And if anything bad happens, or if I get myself in a bad situation, then I'll be okay. A lot of this really comes down to safety too. Think about it. I am someone who has a savings account. I have safety in my life. I don't have to worry about if something were to happen, because there's money sitting there quietly waiting for me. There's no stress behind it. There's no trying to time the market and do anything crazy and have this kind of constant frenzy around money. It's in a savings account. It's there if I need it. Tell yourself, I am that person who will have that safety. Even though I know you're probably saying, I don't feel like that at all. The point is, you speak these things as if you will have them. And even though it's not true right now, you will get things that you tell yourself you will get. And obviously, you still have to take action in your life. This doesn't replace taking action, but it really motivates you to then take the action. And it also just puts the idea out into the world that this is who you will be in the future. Another big topic that is very, very important that was a big shift for me and something I just have noticed with a lot of different people is when giving money makes you feel good, you receive more in return. When you are the type of person who treating a friend to a coffee or a smoothie or tipping someone well who delivers food for you, when it makes you feel good to give them a generous tip or to take care of their coffee, you are someone who will just get that right back to you in the future. And the people who come from a scarcity mindset are the people who are stingy or they're always trying to nickel and dime you. Maybe it's friends that you have that are constantly like Venmo requesting you for every single thing you did. And not only would I encourage you to not be one of those people, but also ask yourself how that person is acting and kind of their mindset behind money. They are not going to be someone who attracts abundance into their life or has abundance with money because they're desperately trying to hold on to it so badly on a micro scale. It's not going to flow back to them. And it's not something where if they feel so constrained where they have to hold on to every dollar that they have and they can't give to someone else, they are never going to receive the gift from the universe or from even if it's just someone also treating them. It could be very spiritual and you could also take it very literally, which is kind of why I like this concept, because it is so amazing to have that shift of being like, I'm a person who gives out a generous tip to someone and I love doing that. And it makes me feel so good and you're like helping someone. Then you also receive help back. I kind of want to talk a little bit about living situation and kind of environmental things, because this is a really, really big one that I have very strong opinions about that might be a little controversial, but just hear me out on the explanation. So let's say if you're renting, move to the apartment complex where you have the cheapest unit in the whole building and that's all you can afford, instead of the place where you can afford the nicest apartment in the whole complex. Because being around the people and just the environment where you are at the lowest tier will honestly cause you to rise up, and it will put you also around more opportunity of the kind of people who can only afford more than what you can afford. So wherever that level is for you, you just find where that base is. And there are obviously in this situation with renting apartments, there are so many different types of apartments and different income levels. Just find the place where you can only afford the cheapest unit in the complex and watch how everything changes for you when you're sitting somewhere. The only place to go is up. And this also puts you around people who are not struggling. If you are doing the best in the room, I think you're in the wrong room. It's better to be push and kind of just have, even if it's a subtle push, where the people are going to push you to rise up to their level and kind of get to your better self, rather than sitting somewhere comfortable where you can look like a shining star who kind of has it all. I don't think that's the place you want to be in. You want to be where there's more opportunity and more places for you to go. Another big one is be inspired by wealthy people instead of threatened and afraid of them. When you have a mindset of people who have wealth are bad people or all they care about is money, then you will never have abundance in your life. Think about what these people could be doing to achieve the life they have and ask them, and be open-minded and not closed off to the idea of them having more than you is just an immediate threat or an automatic negative opinion. Really easy to look at people who have more than us And even if we're not super consciously aware of it, we're just threatened, or in the back of our mind, we're jealous. And we kind of just want to put that person down or find a reason why maybe they don't deserve what they have, or, oh, they must have just gotten that in some sort of negative way, or just kind of making up an excuse of why they have more than us. When really, if you just get curious about how they got there, a lot of people are very much willing to share how they got to whatever place that they are in life, and maybe how they've been able to live in abundance or build wealth. And there really is enough to go around for everyone. And you really have to have that concept in your mind that there's nothing to be jealous of. Reality is no one is going to have the exact same path. And it's all about finding out the way you are at in life, what advantages you have, and how you can leverage those to the best of your ability. And don't waste your energy being jealous of people who appear to have more than you, and instead try to ask yourself how they got there and how you can leverage your unique situation to maybe also get there. If you want to feel rich before you are and live a life of abundance, living comfortably and in wealth has to feel normal to you. And one way you can bring this into your life without causing yourself any sort of financial ruin is maybe try to have one thing that's a regular thing in your life. Maybe you use it every day, or you use it frequently, or maybe it's just something that sits out on your counter. Have one thing that is special to you, that is a luxury, expensive item that you personally really love. Have it be a part of your day-to-day life. And you slowly start bringing these things into your life that represent wealth and represent abundance and not living in struggle. And before you know it, then these things will be all around you, and it won't be one single item anymore. But this is how you start, with just one item. So you're not causing any sort of financial ruin to yourself. You're not overspending. Just picking one thing that you appreciate. Everyone has certain things that are luxuries that are important to them. And find whatever that is for you and make it a part of your daily routine. It could be a really nice wallet if you want a designer wallet and you use that every day, or a designer bag. Obviously, don't go for the super expensive ones, but pick a designer bag that's within your budget and something you can save for and use it every day. And when you walk around with it, you feel like you are living in abundance. Or maybe it's just a really nice pajama set that you bought that is very luxurious. Maybe it's silk or satin, and you wear it every single day when you come home from work, and it just makes you feel fancy. Or maybe it's taking a bath with nice candles all around you and a nice bath bomb, and giving yourself kind of a luxury treatment, even if that's not how your lifestyle has previously been. And when you slowly start bringing these nice items into your life, you normalize having more. You normalize not being in struggle and understanding that I can have these things and I don't have to also latch onto them, like holding on to things because I'll never get them back. You realize how to let things flow in and out more naturally, because you don't have to be constrained by grabbing onto something because you feel like you'll never get it back. Really big one that a lot of people say to themselves out loud or in their head is, I can't afford that. And it's kind of end of sentence. You want to stop saying that. It's coming from panic and from scarcity, saying, I can't have that. I can't do this. And it also puts negative thoughts in your head and limits yourself to what your true potential could really be. If you constantly say, I can't do something or I can't afford it, keeping yourself trapped in a small circle of where you currently stand, and you're not allowing yourself to expand beyond that. Instead of saying, I can't afford that, just say, that's not really a priority for me right now. Or I really want that thing. I want to find out how to afford it. Or I can't wait to have that someday. And those are all positive ways to spin something that you can't have right now, because you're acknowledging that maybe you can't afford something right now, but you're saying it in a way to where you will have it someday. It's just not right now. And when you're giving yourself that kind of headspace to be in peace and just ask yourself, how can I afford that one day? It's just a very open question that also will keep your mind open to allowing possibilities to flow into it of how you could get something, instead of saying, if you can't have something now, that's the end all be all. You're kind of living in a state of panic when you're sitting there looking at something that maybe you really want and you're like, I can't have it, I can't have it. And you tend to fixate on that instead of maybe just letting it pass by and saying, I'll have that someday, and it's going to be really cool when I do. Just putting that out into the world means you will eventually get it back. Those are just a few of my tips for now on how to feel rich before you are. And these things really, really helped me break out of living in kind of a paycheck to paycheck cycle to slowly starting to build and save more and more. So if you want to implement these tips into your life, I really think it will help and give you a little bit more opportunity than maybe you even thought you had. Also help you feel like you have more in your present day so you can build even more in the future. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more videos about money mindset, money tips, and all of my personal side hustle and gig work journey, then you should definitely subscribe, and I would love to have you here. I appreciate anyone who watches my videos and supports me so much, and I will see you in my next video.